Okay, so I'm going to show you an image. I want you to take a moment to look it over, and then I will proceed to ask you the usual questions. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Sorry.
There you go. Okay. What's going on in this picture?
It looks like a station of some sort.
Okay. What do you see that makes you say that?
There is a turning metal bar on the right,
Okay.
and there are staircases, which make me think of different levels going, obviously, up and down.
Okay, so you're noticing that this may be some kind of a subway station because of the staircases and this turning metal device of some kind. Okay. What more can we find?
Everyone seems kind of like worried, like the woman in the front has kind of a worried expression, and so does that man in the first like stall thing on your left.
Okay.
Yeah. Or he's just up to no good, I can't tell.
Okay. What more can we find?
Looks like people are dressed in work clothes.
Okay.
Or clothes I would associate with working.
What do you see that makes you say that?
The hats worn by the men. There's a briefcase. Kind of dress coats.
Oh. Okay, so you're noticing the attire of these people and that it appears to be the attire that's appropriate for a work environment because of the briefcase and the hat and the coats that people are wearing? Okay. What more can we find?
All of the people are really like monochromatic. Most of them at least are like all orange, even their bodies. They're like orangish.
What more can we find?
They're not happy. None of them are smiling.
Okay. So you're noticing the expression on the people's faces and it appears that they are not happy because of the frowns on their face, the worried looks. Okay. Good. One more can we find?
The guy in the stall, the first one, where you can see most of his face, I think the other two in the stall are like the same guy, because they're painted very similarly in very similar positions, just further back so you can't really kind of see everything.
Okay, so you're noticing this figure in this first stall and you think that the other two figures may be the same figure just because of the exact way that they're painted, like this first gentleman?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and the three men behind the lady in the front are all painted very similar, just two have hats and one doesn't, but they all have the same facial features. That also make me think they're the same kind of guy.
Okay, so you're noticing the facial features of the gentleman and they seem to be very similar, almost the same person?
Yeah, but the three group behind the woman are the same person, and the three guys in the stall are another person, but they're the same person.
Okay.
Too.
So this person may be same gentleman in this group, and then these three, because of their facial expressions, they seem to be, her facial features seem to be very similar. They're probably the same person.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they're all the same person. Like dressed in different like costumes. Like they all have the same cheekbones.
Okay.
Maybe that's just how the artist paints, but they all look like a very similar person.
Okay, so, um, you're saying that maybe all the figures are the same person because all of their features seem to resemble, each other, especially the cheekbones? Okay. And one more, please.
I feel like that because all of the people are painted a little similarly, that it's trying to say something about the everyday mundane lifestyle of going to work, getting up, going to work, coming home from work, going to bed.
Okay, all right, so you're noticing the monochromatic red color scheme that's happening with all of these figures, and that lends to a very mundane feeling, just like the regular schedules of everyday life.
Yeah.
Good, one more complaint.
Going off on that, you can kind of see like there's a whole bunch of bars, kind of like they're in jail, in prison, they're stuck. Then even those three guys over there, they're trapped in a corner.
Okay, so you're noticing that this might also lend to a trapped feeling, as similar to being in jail because of the bars that are in the picture, and also the trapped feeling that these three men give you. Okay, good. More good one.
I would say that the woman feels trapped, like we're talking about. We've already said she seems like upset or worried. Whether that's, yeah, because she feels trapped, whether she thinks, I don't think she thinks someone's following her, but yeah, I think the repetition of the man speaks to, yeah, either something that's happening in everyday life. I think the men definitely also relate to this feeling of being trapped.
Okay. So you're noticing the female also experiencing the same thing as the men? The same feelings the men are experiencing?
No, I think she stands out as kind of being the main figure, and maybe she's acting, she feels different from them, I would say.
Okay. What do you see that makes you say that?
She looks the most worried out of everyone in the painting, except perhaps the man on the left, but I can't tell whether he is, I can't see enough of his face to know if he's just an onlooker or if he has any kind of real expression.
Okay. So you're noticing that this woman is definitely stands out in the picture just because of she appears to be the most worried out of all the figures. Okay. Mark it fine.
The figures on the right, like on the other side of the bars, all are like a little bit more toned down from the red, or there's also that blue figure, like the shirt, that really sticks out to me. So it kind of seems like they're on a different track, maybe.
Okay. So you're noticing the different colors of the attire on the figures on the other side of the bars, and that helps to distinguish the difference between the rest of the figures, and perhaps their lives are maybe different than the lives of these figures. Okay. Good. One more good one.
The woman in the concerned woman in the front seat, it seems like she's in a crisis. The position of her hand over her stomach maybe suggests that she is pregnant.
Okay.
From where she places her hands, because I know a lot of women who do that. And so maybe she is a single woman and worried for her and her baby's well-being.
Okay. So you're noticing the worried woman here and the placement of her hand on her belly. Perhaps she is worried because she's pregnant and maybe there's some concern about her baby. Okay. More quick one.
Kind of makes me wonder why the artist chose like a reddish orange color. I mean, it's like normally you associate red with like anger, kind of. None of them look really angry. Maybe it's supposed to portray like their urgency.
Okay. So you're noticing the color again of what most people are wearing, and that usually red represents anger, or but not worried, not what you would associate with what we think most, what these figures are experiencing, and what was the other thing you said?
Maybe it's supposed to signify urgency.
Okay. And then, okay, so maybe the red is suggesting a sense of urgency. Okay. More with that.
I kind of get that she's distressed. Like the way I take it is, the red is symbolizing that she's in danger, like red for blood. Those guys, there's two sets of triplets pretty much, and I kind of get the feeling that's like paranoia. She's looking around and she can't make sense of what's really going on around her.
Okay. So you're also noticing the red, and maybe this is a worry for her being surrounded by all these men, being alone with these men. Okay.
In danger.
Okay. So the red, for her, might associate some danger for her rather than the men. Okay. Good. One more good one.
This guy in the very back corner over here seems a little sad, or maybe he's on a payphone. I can't really tell, but he seems like secretive from because he's covering like his face.
Okay. So you're noticing this gentleman here in the corner who seems to be possibly sad or secretive just by the way he's covering his face. Okay. Good. Remarkably fine.
I think it's interesting that where they're coming from is like blue and bright, like at the very end of the tunnel, and then all of the other directions seem like dark. So,
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you're noticing this end of the hallway here seems to be very bright, and then these other areas are a lot darker than where they appear to be coming from. Okay. Good. Remarkably fine.
Behind the bars to the right, I know we talked about how the figures look different in terms of color scheme, but there's also light coming down from the stairwell, but of course it's blocked off by the bars. So I think that's just again showing the fact that she is like kind of removed from the light or freedom.
Okay. So you're noticing this figure and her distance away from the light, or possibly her freedom being blocked away from it. Okay. Good. Remarkably fine.
Maybe the red is representing communism.
Okay. What do you see that makes you say that?
Well,
Clearly red represents, usually red is a symbol of communism, like the color. But I don't know, maybe it's just the way it's painted, or like certain features like their clothing and her hairstyle represents like, is making a reference to possibly Cold War era, people are worried about, you know, communism and getting nuked, and so maybe it's a political stress on her.
Okay. So you are noticing the color again, the red, possibly suggesting communism, especially because of the time period that the hair suggests and the clothing, and and possibly her worry is because of that time period. Okay. Good. Mark.
I would say, taking off of that like political idea of communism, I would say that to the right perhaps we have like the idea of the West, like the dress is different. The guy standing kind of looks like a James Dean figure, to me, and I would say, yeah, if we're thinking like countries or politically, I would say that the right might symbolize the West that's blocked off.
Okay. So you're also noticing what Liz was talking about, and possibly that these figures on the other side possibly represent America or the West, and especially because of this figure and his clothing is different than what we're seeing on the figures on this side. Okay, good. The more that's fine.
Also, communism kind of deals with the idea of everyone being on the same level, and that even includes, like, I guess, dress. We could say that because all of the men kind of look very similar, that again, in addition to the idea of, like, the red clothing,
Okay.
could go along with that idea. Or it could even symbolize a specific political person or
Okay, so you're also noticing another possible communist um, suggestion here with everybody being pretty much on the same level and so possibly equal.
Yeah, and also their features.
Okay, and also
dress features.
And they're kind of the same height too. Like they're on different planes, but
okay, so you're noticing that everybody seems to be pretty equal in height and features and their clothing, and so that probably lends to the communist ideal. Okay, good.
maybe the